Welcome to today's Software AG webcast titled ARIS 10, the 5 best-kept secrets of successful IoT projects. Today's webcast will be presented by Josèphe Blondaut, Director of ARIS Product Marketing, and Dr. Julian Krumeich, Senior ARIS Product Manager, both of Software AG. As we move through today's presentation, I invite you to submit any questions that you may have via the Q&A box, which is located in the top right corner of your webcast dashboard. We will address your questions at the end of today's program. In the event that we're not able to answer your question, your submission will be recorded, and today's presenters will be back in touch with you as soon as possible. Additionally, today's presentation is being recorded. This program recording will be available on the ARIS playlist of the Software AG YouTube channel later today. Before I turn today's presentation over to Josèphe, I would like to briefly introduce you to Software AG. Software AG helps companies with their digital transformation. With Software AG's digital business platform, companies can better interact with their customers and bring them on new digital journeys, promote unique value propositions, and create new business opportunities. In the Internet of Things market, Software AG enables enterprises to integrate, connect, and manage IoT components, as well as analyze data and predict future events based on artificial intelligence. The digital business platform is built on decades of uncompromising software development, IT experience, and technological leadership. Software AG has more than 4,500 employees, is active in 70 countries, and had revenues of 879 million euro in 2017. With that, it is now my pleasure to welcome Josèphe Blondaut.
Yes, thank you, Will, for the intro. So let's get started now. So we'll talk about the 5 best-kept secrets of successful IoT projects today. So indeed, no matter what business you're in today, your world will be led by IoT devices soon, so if not already so. So the IoT is driving change in many industries, so of course you can't ignore it. That's the background of what we have in mind today while sharing our best practices in this session. So to help you make your IoT projects a success. At Software AG, we often talk about IoT-driven business transformation. Why? Because IoT technology opens the door for new business and transform their business, bringing clearly business-oriented benefits in your projects with concrete strategy and positive outcomes. But let's take a step back and look at why IoT matters. So IoT is a revolution because it has an enormous impact on the economy while transforming the enterprise or many enterprises into digital businesses and changing completely their business models. So, for example, the number of connected things by 2020 will be overwhelming and will touch each and every industry. Gartner even predicts that by 2020, more than half of businesses, to be exact 65%, will have adopted the IoT. So it means it's kind of a matter of fact, and for each and every one of you listening today, something important. The problems that we can see here coming are the fact that many businesses prepare from a technology perspective, but do not consider the business side. And that could lead to problems, to delays in the timeline, and interfere on the success of your IoT projects. So you'd better get it right now and do it right. And that's why we want to share our success secrets on the IoT project. So number 1, IoT is not only an IT project. Number 2, the best IT support isn't enough. Number 3, processes are key. Number 4, monitor and control. And number 5, it's all about twinning. I will start with the number 1. Number 2, 3, and 4 will be done by my colleague Julian. And number 5 will be again on my side. So number 1, IoT is not only an IT project. No, it isn't really. So indeed, IoT describes a technology that enables IP address and enables sensor to perform tasks and measure certain units like temperature, like movements, and to potentially respond to some inputs and create a response through other connected items and things. So that sounds really like IoT, of course. But of course, that's the how of the IoT. That's the implementation of the IoT. But behind this technology, there is simply business stuff. So IoT enables digital transformation and transforms your business. And it's just like any other IT projects, you shouldn't consider it just from the technology perspective, but you should consider the business behind that. So why do companies transform the business? Because they have concrete business goals behind. And to put it in a nutshell, the drivers of your IoT projects are not technical ones, but business related. So don't start with the technology. So when you put the technology by side, what I said before, you'll see the drivers behind the IoT projects are business related. So for example, how do you improve your business? In particular, how do you improve your operation, your underlying processes? How does IT help you to deliver maybe a better customer experience? How does this all offer new revenue, new business models for your company? So in enhancing operation, the first point here is about improving the supply chain, for example, optimizing the use of some existing assets. That could be some example. And if we take a look at the oil and gas industry, the IoT helps them to monitor the oil flow through the pipelines, for example. In smart meters, smart metering, it helps to measure and optimize the delivery and the consumption of electricity. And there are much more possibility. They are endless, let's say, and we're just getting started optimizing the usage of the assets or the usage of some equipment in some industries. Another example is about the customer experience. So it's key in today's competitive world. I'm sure you know it. And a common example is here the parcel delivery services that can become, through IoT, truly customer-driven and truly intelligent. So for example, if you order meat or some perishable goods online, the consumers may be able to use their smartphones to check about the arrival of the goods of the correct temperature between during the delivery, and see if it's all fine with what you order, basically. So the business goal here is really quite clear. It's about customer satisfaction and product quality. And that's basically it. And what I said before, IoT is a technical topic, but it's about having business drivers and considering them. So and now I'll hand over to my colleague Julian, and he will go the next 3 points.
Thank you, Josèphe, for sharing the first secret on successful IoT projects. And I'm happy to share with you now the remaining 3 ones. So let me switch to the next one. Okay, so the second one is quite related to the first one. So even though you have successfully implemented sensors, that is not the eventual goal behind your IoT initiatives. So what you need to achieve is a certain strategic outcome behind IoT. So that means certain goals, some improvements on KPIs, etc. And that's exactly what you need to express and to articulate when doing your IoT projects. So it's basically the same like for a digital transformation that you want to achieve in your company. And in order to explain it a little more easier, I'd like to provide an example. So assume you are a traditional wine retailer. So you have quite successful local retail stores, maybe around your region, and you would like to transfer these traditional businesses into a digital one. So that's maybe the first step, and for which you may have already used ARIS. So what you do is you build up maybe an online store. By that you spread the reach of your business across the globe literally. And now what does that mean from a customer perspective? So as Josèphe already pointed out, it's also about improving the customer experience. So how could a potential customer journey look like in this online scenario? So it typically starts with the first step. A customer is buying your goods, so a bottle of wine or actually a parcel of wine. Then this is being shipped by some shipment partners, and it's in the third step delivered to you as a customer. And then eventually, when the party is about to start, you have the bottles of wine available and everything is quite good. In theory, this digital transformation is already a quite good success for you, but also for the customer in terms of the customer satisfaction and experience. But what could happen here? So take, for instance, you as the owner or the host of a party, you have just recently ordered a couple bottles of wine, and you will notice, okay, at the day of the party and the parcel has been just delivered, some of the bottles are broken. So now you have definitely a problem. So either you go to the next local bottle shop and buy some additional bottles, or maybe your guests need to be fine with less amount of wine. It's maybe also not a bad idea, but we will assume that you will buy some additional bottles. In a IoT-enabled scenario, this customer experience for you as a customer could be much improved. So what could that mean? Taking again a look at the customer journey and what you could do with IoT, for example, you could enable the step 2 and the step 3 by IoT. So that means IoT-enabled shipment and IoT-enabled delivering. So you could, as the wine retailer, you could track all the parcels that you are delivering, and whenever you see maybe a certain event taking place, it could be a certain shock to the wine bottles, or if you ship other goods like chocolate, etc., whenever a certain temperature is reached, then this is a signal that the goods that are delivered are not as good from a quality perspective as it was expected by the customer. And that means with this knowledge you could, in case a certain threat is being detected, you could automatically reship a new order to the customer so that at the end it will be delivered the amount of bottles at the right time in a good quantity. So what does it mean? What we wanted to achieve with IoT in this example is we wouldn't not just implementing new sensors, etc. We really wanted to achieve a new strategic goal, so improving the customer experience in this example. And that's the baseline for the second secret. So you should start with thinking strategic. Set clear goals, define your initiatives that you want to start in order to make that strategy happen. You need to define KPIs and then assess, okay, what is the impact on your organization and on your processes. How could ARIS support you with that? I mean, we are supporting you in strategizing your business already for years. So you could, for example, start here with a strategy model where you outline here as an example your current business model or also your vision. So that could be, in the first place, okay, be the best local wine retailer in Germany. As the next step, remembering my example, you have maybe transformed this local business into a digital one, meaning you are the #1 online wine dealer. And now, using IoT, you could do it with the best delivery quality and that on time. So when you have this strategy clearly articulated, you can break it even down to concrete goals and KPIs. So as you can see here, as it is displayed in ARIS. So again, you have here your new strategy. You say, okay, this strategy is being measured by those KPIs. So for example, the percentage of unbroken and on-time delivered wine bottles. And in order to improve that, certain processes are being impacted. So that will be the packing process, because you need to attach IoT sensors to the parcels, and also the overall shipping and logistics process need to be tracked and traced by certain IT systems based on the information that's coming from these IoT sensors. Okay, so second secret, I think it's clear. Don't start with IoT from a technical perspective. First, make sure that you have a clear strategy behind your IoT initiatives. The third secret is processes are key also in the IoT space. So remembering my example where whenever a certain threat is being detected by an IoT sensor, that could be a shock as in the example, then you automatically reship new wine bottles. So it's not just a strategy, it's also about transforming your processes. And for sure, that's what you can do with ARIS. So you can define the impact of IoT on your processes with ARIS. So we have adapted here our modeling methodology so that you can capture that in multiple point of views. So I will give you a concrete example in a few seconds. And you can also connect ARIS directly to Cumulocity, so that's Software AG's device integration platform. And there you are actually managing any single IoT object. And with this combination, you can connect both worlds. So the design world with an ARIS and the actual implementation world in Cumulocity. So what does it mean? Take again as an example this shipping process. Here on the left-hand side, you see the traditional way of how this is processed and done in your digital business. So you ship your bottles, and when the bottles are shipped, your customer detects, okay, whether the parcel and the bottles are good or not good. In case they are not good, they have to dial you and tell you, okay, the parcel is broken, please deliver an additional parcel. In the IoT-enabled shipping process, we have attached those track and trace shipping sensors to the parcel itself or to the individual wine bottles, and whenever they detect a certain shock during the shipment, then an automatic reshipment will be triggered. And that's what you can also define here in the different process branches within ARIS. So you can really define what will be the outcome or what impact does this IoT object has on your business process flow. As you can see here on the right-hand side in this example, attached to the first function ship order, we have modeled a new object, and that's exactly an IoT object. So here you already see what you can do with ARIS, and it's even more. So what you can do also is you can here you see maybe a potential IoT sensor, but what you can do is you can define in detail what is this IoT sensor about. So what more specific information can be provided in terms of events, what is the data connection maybe, what are potential risks associated with this IoT sensor, who is from an organizational perspective responsible for this IoT object, so whenever there's a certain problem or error, who can fix it. So all this information can be captured here in the IoT object context model. So basically you have all the flexibility that you need to describe that in any detail. And then even more, you can also define, okay, what are the events that could occur that are relevant for your process flow. Here in the example, okay, maybe a certain shock moment and also a temperature increase needs to be detected, and this is the sign or the trigger for another process step or a different process branch. So again, you can define here all the details that are needed to describe these IoT-enabled business processes. My example is maybe a little bit theoretical with this wine retailer, but we have, from a Software AG perspective, quite similar examples also already realized with existing customers. So here, this online motion and vibration analysis is quite common in logistic processes. If you are interested in more details, I'm pretty sure we can provide you with more details on these concrete examples. Then a bit more details on the modeling part. I mean, that's maybe most important also for you. We have introduced some additional model types that helps you, first of all, to capture the context of your IoT object, but also, for example, to define a certain hierarchy of your IoT network. So it could be if you describe a certain plant in which you are operating your business, this is not just a few sensors, but this is really a sensor network. And you also want to describe, okay, how does those different sensors belong together and what is the relation between them. So this is also possible in dedicated model types in ARIS. In a nutshell, what are the new objects that we have introduced? First of all, that's the new IoT object, as you can see on the top left. Then you can further detail such objects in either sensor or actuators, so either an active or a passive device. You can then also define the configuration of the IoT object, so in terms of connectivity, security issues, etc. You can also describe the data perspective, as you can see on the bottom left, and that's also quite important. You can define the risks related to IoT. And I mean the cornerstone are the events. So the events either being consumed or emitted by IoT devices, because those events, remember again, or think about the EPC, they are really triggering and influencing your business processes. And for sure, you can reuse them in your processes. As I mentioned already shortly, you don't need to model all of them by your own. So you can actually use a connection between ARIS and Cumulosity to import all the object types of the IoT objects that you're already using within Cumulosity. So again, Cumulosity is our software AG IoT device integration platform. So that helps you, for example, to jumpstart projects. So if you are using, for example, Cumulosity already and you would like to reuse this rich content also in ARIS, just download it into the repository and then reuse all those objects in your processes. With this connection, you cannot only in your processes, but with this concrete connection between both worlds, you can also keep track on the progress of your IoT projects, and you are also, or you gain a real visibility and transparency on your IoT objects in relation to your processes and your IoT projects. So that's the fourth secret. You also need to keep track on your IoT initiatives. So that means how much have you already achieved in terms of implementing your IoT objects, etc., but also have you really reached the goals and the KPI improvements that you want to achieve with the IoT initiatives. And with that, for that, you can use, of course, also ARIS. So for example, what we offer here is you can measure the progress of your IoT implementation. I will show you that in a minute in a live demo. You can see, okay, do I really have improved the efficiency of my processes by IoT? Or is it even worse, getting worse with this IoT object? So I haven't reached actually my goals that I wanted to achieve. You can also keep track of the objects in real time. So whenever a certain alarm is being triggered, you can see that in real-time dashboards. And with that, you see whenever a certain warning appear, you could, for example, inform the responsible owner and do some risks or problem mitigations. So that's something which I would like to share with you in a live demo. So let me switch here to my ARIS Connect. And what you could see here on the left-hand side, that's already an EPC model that is attached and enriched with IoT. So you see here, for example, associated to a certain function, an IoT production network. You have here also an additional IoT object attached to another object here, another function. And what you can see here on the right-hand side, this is our project status dashboard. So first of all, you see, okay, what is my progress in terms of implementing this IoT-enabled process. So this ARIS instance is actually linked to Cumulocity, and this is context sensitive. So when I select here a certain object, and as you can see here, there is no progress, that means it has not been implemented so far. So this is a white spot, and which needs to be implemented in Cumulocity. What you can also see is, okay, have I already improved my process? So here, for example, in terms of the process cost rate or the process duration time. So this is coming, for example, from our process mining solution, where you can monitor really the KPIs of your processes. In addition to such an overall project status, you could even drill down, let's say, to a device status, so really an individual device, and you see, for example, okay, what is the downtime rate? So here, for the overall year, it's quite good. It's just 0.6%. And if I now maybe have a look at, okay, what is it in the overall November, you see it's going to be worse. So that could be an indication that some of your sensors are maybe broken or need to be renewed. And all this information you can clearly see from this perspective in ARIS. So related to your process, of course, or the alarm status of your objects that are attached to this process. So here you see, for example, how many alarms have been triggered. Is this good in terms of the KPIs you have defined? What are the concrete examples of those alarms? Are they critical or are they just minor alarms? So all these information you can see here in the dashboards within ARIS. So just to sum up my short live demo, so you can monitor and control your IoT projects within ARIS, so from a project perspective, but also from a concrete IoT device perspective. So everything is possible in here, and yeah, gives you great visibility. And with that, I would like to hand over again to my colleague, Josèphe.
Thanks, Julian, for the details on our secrets on IoT projects. So, and to finalize our presentation today, I would like to share the fifth secret of IoT projects with you. And the fifth secret is just, it's all about twinning. So what do I mean with that is that digital twins is a common concept from the IoT, and basically in the IoT world, it depicts the digital representation of a physical asset or of a sensor. And this digital twin topic is now being introduced into all line of business, into the enterprise as an enterprise digital twin. So, and as such, the enterprise digital twin illustrates your business operating model, including all the assets that you may have in your company, such as processes or IT systems. And many organizations are setting now on enterprise digital twin and using it to coordinate the relationship between the people, the IT, and the processes within their digital transformation projects. And really, ARIS is the place now for you to create such a digital twin that will build a mirror of your enterprise reality and help you basically to strive towards operational excellence. So we call it an enterprise digital twin. Gartner calls it a digital twin of organization. The important thing is that it's about the twinning concept. Yeah. So, and to take one last concrete information for you, and it's basically, when I talk about enterprise digital twin, it's basically summarizing everything that you heard today. It's just that is extending the twin topic and the IoT topic to other topics there. So the enterprise digital twin in your organization will really guide you through the digital transformation and will help your business to deliver excellence. It's the basics on digital twins, yeah? And with ARIS, whether we're talking about IoT or SAP or other projects, with ARIS you will be able to design and to monitor this enterprise digital twin in every single business area. How do we do that? So the enterprise digital twin in ARIS helps you to drill down into the company so that all your processes, all your products and services, the IT landscapes, the customer journeys are really clear and easy to understand for everyone. And this information, so this as-is situation, can be enriched with figures, with metrics or KPIs so that your managers and your user in the end will be able to make the right decisions at the right time. So let's have a very short last example. In the manufacturing area, it's very common to have an enterprise digital twin right now. So, and to fine-tune their supply chain network, manufacturers are using a digital twin. So that depicts the operational process data with monitoring, KPIs, calculations, and also root cause analysis. So the strategic, operational, or tactical changes will be made to any part of the value chain of this manufacturer, and that can be simulated also so that you can show the impact of a change and how the modification of a change will impact the business and the KPI performance. So the enterprise digital twin in ARIS will help you to translate the strategy for digital transformation into concrete business outcomes, into concrete initiatives and KPIs so that you can execute your digital transformation successfully, of course. It will help you to set up standards so that you ensure that your business runs smoothly and the quality and compliance topics are also secured. Second, it helps you to visualize the relationship between the organization within the organization and will give you insights on how better operation could work so that you can achieve the visibility on your business or in that example on the supply chain. Third, it connects the business operating model with real-life data so that you can empower and enable the organization to reach excellence, to reach high-quality operation. So, for example, it connects design processes with real IoT objects. That was our example today. Here we are again, so that you can gain insights on the performance and you can see and assess the need for change in your business. Fourth, it helps you to simulate the changes and evaluate the effects of these changes before you do the changes, so before implementing the changes in the operation so that you are more secure and sure about the decisions that you take. So for example, what are the implications and the forecast if you reduce the number of the logistics centers that you have, if you just remove one, and that will help you to take the right decision. And last but not least, we had the demo right now, control and improve is an important part, so it helps you to control how the business operates in reality, and it helps you to improve it continuously so that you can achieve excellent business operation, and in the end you get happy customers and successful business. So, and basically that's it from our side on the 5 secrets of enterprise of IoT. And now I think it's time for the question round. So if you have questions, we'll take this part over.
Perfect, Josèphe, thanks. First one, what is the data source for these dashboards? Josèphe, the question is, what is the data source for these dashboards?
Sorry, I was muted. Sorry for that. So you have multiple options to connect data with our dashboards. So either you directly connect those dashboards to Cumulocity, so that would be our own solution, or you use our standard connectors, for example, to APIs, so that other IT systems provide, or you directly connect to a database that stores that kind of information. So there are many options that you could use in order to get the data, either from IoT objects or any other asset in your company, into those ARIS dashboards.
Okay, the next one I have for you. Are these objects available in the standard modeling, or do I need a dedicated extension pack?
Good question. So all the model elements that you have seen, also the new objects, but also those model types that I talked about, they are already available in the ARIS standard methodology. So there is no need for an extension pack. If you want to connect ARIS with Krumeich, so this is covered by a dedicated extension pack that is available for you.
Do I need the Cumulocity integration from beginning on, or can I first start in ARIS?
So that's basically up to you. So you could either start just with ARIS first, define your to-be processes using IoT objects, and then use the Cumulocity integration. Or if you have already a Cumulocity integration, download or import your IoT objects that you are already using, and then rebuild them in your processes. So both ways are possible. So that's up to you. So the connection to Cumulocity is also suitable in order to jumpstart your modeling initiatives in that sense, but it's not a mandatory prerequisite that you need to follow.
Okay, I want to go back to the first question because there was a follow-up to it. So the first question had been, what is the data source of these dashboards? And our questioner then followed up saying, what is your case?
So in our case, it was a connection to Cumulocity. So Cumulocity is offering different APIs where you can directly get the data of individual objects, for example, or also from a more strategic perspective on IoT. And via those APIs, we bring the data into the dashboards. If you're using, for example, our UMG database, so which we also ship for demo purposes, we have persisted all these details in flat files. So this is also a possibility. So if you export IoT specifics into a flat file, such as CSV or Excel files, you can also import that kind of information into those dashboards. So that's really pretty flexible. So if you want to see there more details, what is possible in terms of connecting data to or bringing data into ARIS, we can provide you with more details, or just have a look at our ARIS Aware product, which is the technology behind it. So you will find quite a lot of information, what data sources are available and what we are supporting here. I hope that's answering the question.
Okay. We do have the person's contact information, so we can follow up with them to be sure that was answered. Yeah. Next one I have, where do I find more information about this digital twin concept?
Yeah, there is a dedicated webpage called twin.softwareag.com, and there you find all the information, so different use cases, different stories, success stories already. So just have a look at this dedicated website, and yeah, if you need additional information, just feel free to contact us.
Okay, perfect. That's all the questions that we have at this point. So with that, I just want to say that this is the last webcast in our 2018 ARIS 10 webinar program. If you would like to reference any or all of these webcasts from this program, you can find them on the ARIS playlist of the Software AG YouTube channel. Additionally, you can email the ARIS marketing manager, Christina Heller. She can be reached at Christina, CHRISTINA.Heller, HELLER, at softwareag.com, and she can provide you the link to that playlist as well. So Joseph and Julian, excuse me, thank you very much for your time and for a very informative presentation today. With that, our program has now ended. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks to all of you for joining. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.